Okay, would you state your name?
Ray Peterson. I was a flight engineer, 305th Bomb Group, 8th Air Force, and I was flying in a B-17, flight engineer, and we, 36 bombers, took off on a mission to Dresden, Germany, and on the takeoff, I was the 13th plane in the air, the 15th plane and the 17th plane crashed on takeoff. One of these two planes crashed into my barrack site, blew it up, and killed, I believe there was, all the crew, there's 10 men, all of them were killed. And one of my buddies that was sleeping, an engineer, flight engineer, he was also killed. Now this mission was to Dresden, and it's when they call it when we firebombed. The English bombed it, and we bombed it. And we dropped incendiary bombs, and they say that at the time the temperature on the ground was 1,000 degrees. It suffocated a lot of the Germans, and the latest figures today are that 50,000 Germans were killed. There was most of them, quite a few suffocated. Anyway, that was a rough mission, but on my plane, we managed to get back home safely.
That was your very first mission. That was a tough mission. And you lost a good friend at the end of that, or at the beginning of the takeoff.
He had never, this friend of mine that was killed, had never flown a mission. And of course it was my first mission.
And you flew many missions during World War II.
26 missions.
And I know you had mentioned that you had flown at the very end of the war also at Pilsen?
Well, Pilsen, Czechoslovakia was our target. And before we had been assigned to fly, first of all, we were in the rest home for a week, and we came back at 11 o'clock at night, and because we came back and would have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to take off at 5:30 on a mission to Dresden, they scratched us from the mission and assigned another crew. On the mission, these 36 bombers were shot at quite a bit by German jet 262s. And the replacement for us was being shot up, and he was shooting at the German fighters, and one of the fighters got shot up pretty bad, so the German pilot bailed out and his jet crashed into the replacement that had flown in our place. So all but the navigator were killed, and eventually the navigator was executed by the Germans after he was captured.
Do you recall when the first mission was, and when the Pilsen mission was?
The first mission would have been around the 1st of February in 1945. Mm-hmm. And my mission, I actually flew one of the last missions of the war, which was around the 24th of April 1945.
And then the Germans finally surrendered, I think, May 8th of 45.
May 8th, they signed the papers. And on May 9th, my crew was requested if they'd like to go to Buchenwald. So we said yes, and we went to Buchenwald, to prison camp, and there was several 100,000 prisoners executed at this prison camp. It also was a prison camp where the commandant's wife had selected certain prisoners because of their fair skin, and they executed these people, and then they made lampshades. There was about 200 lampshades made from these prisoners out of human skin. I saw everything that they've talked about, the crematories, and there was a lot of frozen bodies. April, it was still cold, and the frozen bodies were laying all over in the yard, and I saw vats full of human bones from the crematories.
That must have been a horrifying day for you to see all that.
There was a few prisoners left, but you could not give them any food because they weren't used to food, and it would probably kill them if you had given them anything to eat.
Yeah. Did you tell me you had an unusual mission with a Disney bomb?
I flew 2 missions, 2 submarine pens. The submarine pens had the submarines underneath and then 30 feet of concrete over the top of them. And we were dropping these Disney bombs to try to penetrate and destroy the submarine. Now the Disney bombs were 14 feet long, and they weighed 4,500 pounds apiece. So we had, when we came out to the plane, we had never seen them, and we were a little bit surprised. They hung one on each side of the fuselage of the B-17s, and we wondered, 6,000 feet, could we get in the air safely? Well, we did make it on both missions, and to this day I don't know if we hit any targets or not. Mm-hmm. But the Disney bombs, they had a steel nose, a charge in the middle, and a rocket on the back, and after you released them at a given angle, they would fire the rocket. Automatically the rocket would fire off, and these bombs would be dropped down.
So it's one of the first real big bunker buster, but it had a rocket on it that would fire it through into the submarine pens in theory, and it was called what was it called, a Disney bomb?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you were to look at your what do they call this with the now? You can find out all this stuff.
Oh, on the internet.
On the internet.
Googling something.
It would tell if you put in business bombs, 305th bomb group. There's information there about the bombs.
And Curtis LeMay was the commander of your unit?
Oh, he brought us, our bomb group, over, but he had moved on into higher up by the time I came there.
Ray, how old are you today?
Today, I'll be 92 in March.
And where do you live?
I live in Edina, Minnesota.
What did you do after the war?
After the war, I started at University of Minnesota on the 6th of January, 1946. And I eventually ended up being an accountant and worked most of my life in commercial construction companies, all large companies in the Twin Cities.
And I know you're married and you have children, or you had a son?
I have a boy and 2 girls.
Yeah.
And couple great 6 great-grandchildren.
Well, thank you very much. I sure appreciate your doing this.